Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Zero Events, our live series where we go deep into extended reality and immersive technology. My name is Sonia Sadarasan and I will be your host today. If you're watching live in LinkedIn or YouTube, drop us a hello. Let us know what do you do and what makes this topic so interesting to you. And feel free to send along some questions along the conversations. Today's session, we're going to be talking all about spatial collaborative environments and how we move beyond just like in uh, meeting in a spatial environment, but go into like co-creations and building present in the shared worlds. We've lined up a grade of questions uh, for arrival space and how the current arrival space can support the workflow and how it plugs into the tools of like whatever that we're already using today. And to help us dive into all of these things, I'm thrilled to welcome our guest today, Lisa from Arrival Space. Arrival Space has been doing really nice stuff like in this environment for the intersection of like web native, spatial UX, and the collaborative. Welcome, Lisa. How's your week going?
Hi, Sonia. Super excited to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation. Good. Very good. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. So, before we go into like our curiosity, like like tell us a little bit more about like Arrival Space here.
So Arrival Space is basically this fully web-based and interoperable social 3D network where everybody can like claim their space, upload any type of media content and share it, right? So it's fully immersive, it's multiplayer, and it works on phone, desktop, and in VR. And yeah, we would just want to make it super easy for people to create in 3D and share it with others.
Like if I'm not mistaken, like I kind of like know Arrival Space about, I don't know, maybe a year ago or something. Like my work like as an exam designer, like I always kind of like look for like a new platforms or like whatever is in the market to help me like present to the clients. And I played around actually with Arrival Space, and in the beginning I think like I saw it like more as a 3D website, but lately I've seen like a lot more people are like playing with it like in a very creative different way that I didn't think about it. um walk us a little bit like through the features of like the features and of the 3D experience and interaction that you guys have in the platforms.
Yeah, so when you've seen it a year ago, yes, there is a lot of progress. Yeah. So in the first place, it was really about like fostering navigation and infrastructure for people because normally when you hear like social VR or events or stuff like that, it's super hard to access and you get lost very easily, right? So it was like really about connecting the dots first and make it accessible to everybody, right? And so you can add all types of media content in Arrival Space. Let's say you claim your space, you, for example, have an ecosystem or a project or like what your company does, you want to present it in an immersive and innovative way. You claim your space, you add all types of media content. And that is really about like bridging the gap between 2D and 3D, right? A lot of people are not familiar yet with the 3D environment itself. So you can add your website, your Calendly, your YouTube, your Insta, everything you have already. And then continue with like 360 videos or GLBs or assets or XR content and even Gaussian splatting, right? So there's like a broad variety of people using Arrival Space in many different ways. And the feature set right now is, yeah, quite
So we
advanced.
can, like we can claim our space, right? So it still works like that. We can claim our space and we have space. If I'm not mistaken, you guys have like templates, right? Like
Basically, it's not like very specific category templates, right? Right now, you start with a round-shaped space with 7 gates, and these gates are like your doorways into whatever you want. You can attach your gallery in frame. You can attach a spatial world. You can attach any web-based other platform and hop from there. But right now, also with the splattings and everything that came up with this industry evolvement, let's say, you can also like hide this hub have a full environment splat, for example, and then add specific gates. But it's always the focus is like super easy to use. And it's
So
pretty, yeah.
that's good, yeah. So when they're getting into the space, if they don't have an environment, I guess in this case they have like this templates environments like a default one, and they just start putting their thing in different doors. But if they have an environment, and in this case, does it need to be like a splats, or it can be like any other 3D environments?
I mean, it could be like a skybox you prompt in Arrival Space and it appears and you start from there. You can also like upload a 3D asset. You can upload a splat. It's basically
Oh, okay.
whatever you want, right? But that's very new, let's say. And the normal Arrival Space architecture, you can like fully brand, right? You can either use AI to help you create textures, for example.
This is new, right? I don't think I've tinkered with this.
That's very old, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, there is an AI bot, Mr. Korf, we call him Mr. Korf, who helps you like voice direction wise to create and design your space, add content in the gates. And yeah, the AI content generation is Gaussian splatting wise, it's a bit experimental still, but otherwise it's like you can add stuff to the gates and the textures and everything.
So the AI helps to build the environment, or it helps like to build the content?
The content itself, like mini games or websites or whatever, pictures, images, textures. You can also like pull up a couple of 3D assets, let's say. So that's going into the experimental stage.
nice.
And also like you can prompt by text only right now Gaussian splats into a gate, for example. But yeah, all these AI features, of course, based on user feedback and what people want, will continue improving that a lot.
Oh, that's really nice. So, sorry, like, can you mention like what kind of like medias you guys are supporting now?
Wow, so we support 2D pictures, websites, YouTube channels, for example, or YouTube videos. I mean, sometimes it's different, like LinkedIn and Insta are like, but Insta, for example, you can add a post, but you cannot add the channel, for example, stuff like that.
Okay,
But yeah, any web-based other platform,
you
like
can compile them together over there.
actually transfer, hop back and forth. GLBs, PLYs, Splats, SPZ, like basically almost file formats independent and interoperable. We try to stay as open as possible.
Really nice. So you were mentioning that like a lot of like the new features, right? Like they're based on like user feedback. So
Yeah.
you guys like have like a community base for this, which is based in like Discord, or like if somebody wants to join the community to ask like how to build, like what do they need to know, like where do they need to go in this one?
I mean, first, Discord is a good place to go and to start. I'm going to share a link afterwards also in the chat. We have a lively Discord community that also like helps us, right? To report or to like give feedback. And for us, it's like our team and we have a lot of user feedback meetings, a lot of user stakeholder calls. We're in direct conversation with a lot of people from the very beginning, because we want to like build something useful for traders, right? So it's really about that. And if we hear things like a couple of times, it's like you develop a sense beside the vision of what people really want. And I really want to understand what's
Sure.
the end, why you want to do this, right? So,
Yeah, that's really nice. So then they go to Discord, and then they can like they have like that feedback, and they can give feedback.
yeah, book a call directly with us, hop on a 30-minute call or something like that. Discuss a
That's
couple
really
of
nice.
projects.
It's actually like it makes a difference when you really know like your users. Like it's not just like another application. You really build like for them, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, sure. It's
definitely.
super important. I believe that. Like you were mentioning that the latest thing that people has been using the platform was, and also kind of like what I see is like they're using like Gaussian splats. like a lot of like Gaussian Splash community like have used Arrival Space now to showcase like their work. Can you share us like some like use case that's like, oh wow, like that's new. I didn't think about it before.
I mean, Gaussian splatting itself is like a game changer for me, right? And it will disrupt a lot of industries and their workflows, in my opinion. So this is really something, a cross industry, cross use case that can be really super interesting for a lot of people and companies, right? So what we see right now is like a lot of large scale environments of cultural sites, but also like industrial wise, museums, malls, real estate, pretty interesting, but also tourism. So everything across that. And for me, it's like so exciting. For example, the Japanese 3D.js community is picking up on Arrival Space right now a lot, and you see
Oh,
this amazing spaces and culture. You can go through Kyoto or Tokyo in the Apple Vision Pro, and you have an experience, right? So for me, it's like really interesting to see this cultural spaces across the world, and people now start, and I love that, to like add their Arrival Space link to their social profiles, for example, on
oh,
Twitter,
nice.
on their website, stuff like that, to really like hop in as a guest, be there, interact, and share the link, right?
You
Yeah,
mentioned about like real estate. Like, what do people do in real estate?
I mean, it's a huge use case in terms of selling houses, selling flats, mapping the houses or the buildings in
Ah,
outside in order to invite people to hop in, have a tour that is like a multiplayer conversational, and on the other hand, it's like, yeah, it's not that I jumped from one point to another. You can like fly through, go there, go in every environment. And what we do is like, also we have like this one-click collision generation, right? So people upload a splat, and with
okay.
just one click, they create a collision mesh. They can also download it then and use it somewhere else. And this makes like these splats like a walkable content. And I believe like this walking through content is like an interesting thing. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, like, I can imagine, like, either it's a Gaussian splats or like just any other mm, like content, right? If you walk your content, like it feels like really different. Yeah, I didn't think that's how they're gonna use it, like for real estate. I could imagine a lot of use case like for cultural experience.
Yeah.
Um, and you were mentioning industrial before.
Industrial as well, yes. In terms of cultural experiences, I think splats are an amazing tool for storytelling, right? So scanning a set, sharing it with the director, make adjustments, share it back. It makes workflows way easier, I think. And storytelling wise, it's interesting what the creators are doing in Arrival Space as well, combining with 3D voices. For example, they scan a scene they think is creative wise interesting for a project of them. They record a 3D voice. It's basically capturing your avatar and voice, and other people can listen to it like a 3D voice messaging in Arrival Space. You get a notification, can hear it back, stuff like that.
It's that is the avatar, right? The one
So,
that can play back like to tell a story. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
and
Yeah. That one.
And yeah, a new feature as well is like the dynamic gates we have. So gates are very central part of Arrival Space in general, but now you can place them anywhere, right? And
Oh,
also
okay. Because
them.
before it was like fixed, like we have in that round room, right? And
Mhm.
then now it's like a feature on its own, and you can place them like anywhere. And it
Exactly.
and this gates like it has the same function, which means that they connect to like different spaces, in if not different media.
Exactly. So it's for me, it's like always interesting to see what people come up with and see what people are
What
really
has been the most interesting part you see up until now?
sorry.
How do people use Gate? Like, what have you been seeing like up until now? How do people use Gate?
The new thing, the new gates are, yes, like you said, used to connect spaces. So they place them at a very specific point in order to make people go into the next step, for example, right? Annotation wise, it can be used, but also like they add websites, for example, to have additional information, right? But also like fun things like left and right and east and north and like, yeah.
Oh,
And yeah, ad wise or sponsorship wise, things like that as well.
interesting. So these people, the one that you were mentioning, like the most of your users, right? Like who are they? Like they're creators, they're SME, they're educators, public institution. Like who they are?
I mean, we have um, built a community like across the globe, right? So what we see a lot is XR pros, like people who are already
In
in the
Excel.
XR industry, like XR pros, let's say, who are using our Arrival space to really showcase their work, their worlds they've built across platforms, their assets in an intriguing way for people. Invite clients, have a world tour, nobody gets lost. It's a tool for them to present their work, right? Then we have like a more artistic approach also on that, on the XR creators. They're applying for festivals, for example, for experience, things like that. A lot of like startups or SMEs that are not there yet in 3D, but use Arrive Space to like have a 3D presence with very little effort and be
Yes.
innovative. And then they start, okay, I can scan my office now with my phone, upload it. It's nice, right? And a lot of universities and educational partners as well, also across the world, using Arriva Space either for their students or for their university course. We have collaboration with universities, like for example, TU Dublin or in Graz, where we are based. A lot of presentations. Also, for example, NYU, marketing-wise, it's interesting for them, or had a presentation at Rochester University in New York. So there are like a lot of education institutions that are interested into like also different use cases. I would say it's either training or curriculums or marketing. And map ecosystems basically.
Map.
Yeah.
What's map? Sorry.
I mean, like mapping an ecosystem, for
Ah,
example,
yes. Okay.
Europe has a lot of content, like the Booster Project and their event itself. So we did it for them like the last 2 years and have a live stream then at their watercolor, stuff like that. But also like EXA Women, for example, has a hub, they're meeting there.
I remember. Yes.
Like, yeah, like community hubs and ecosystems, for example. Poly Awards are building one right now.
It's funny because actually, when you say like most of the people who are using this are like people who are already in Excel, because for me, like arrival space could be like the first step, like going from like a completely flat, right, into like something in the middle, if not completely immersive just yet. And with the workflow, with the current workflow that you guys have, like it allows them to trial and error, like different thing, to finally be saying, okay, you know what, maybe there is something that could add things for us. So they're like actually the best people like needs to try this, right?
Yeah, I think it's a very valid point. I mean, for me, it's also like, so our loop is like claim, edit, share. And by sharing, people who are not familiar stumble across it and hop in and are in there directly. We have a lot of people that are absolute non-pros as well, right? And they like it because they are able to do it, right? It's functionality-wise, it's designed for people who are not familiar with the medium, right? So you can do a lot. You have the JSON editor, you can pull up Supersplat, you can do a lot if you know, but in order to like get started, and it's very easy, right? And for us, it's
Because
also
it's like a no code platform, right, in this case.
and yeah, I think it's like the accessibility, it's web-based, is key, right? Big learning from a lot of extra events we produced, right? So yeah, accessibility is like mobile first, then desktop, and then VR for the highest level of immersion.
So people are like based on like whatever you guys have until now, people are browsing this through mobile as well. I've
Yeah.
never tried them in mobile actually. Like I've always going inside it with computer.
Hmm.
Not yet as well in headset, but the web browser.
Hmm.
Which
Yeah, mobile needs special love. Definitely VR as well.
for
But
sure.
I think mobile is key to get people in there, right? And we have a lot of people who like join from different devices. And then you can have a conversation of a different experience, right? And with the next UI release and updates, we're shipping in a couple of days. There will be like even more the focus on the creator, right? To better have a look at the spaces of a specific creator, to be able to like hop in and browse and discover even more. And I think this way, mobile is like this viewing, engaging consummation of the content. If I want to edit and set up my own space, of course, I probably would do it on desktop. Yes.
Yeah, and then they experience them like in mobile. It's a shame actually. We should have this conversation in a rival space, right?
And next time you're there, I'll take you around.
Yes, please. Because up until now, I mean, I tinker with the rival space myself. But to be really honest, like up until now, I know a lot of the feature from Pierre. Like we had a couple of meeting in a rival space, and
On desktop, yes.
yeah, and then they just
Sorry.
sorry. And most of the things that the features that are there, like Pierre is the one kind of like walk me through, like, and he mentioned about, oh, rival space has got a really nice like special audio. Like if they're further, if we want to talk to each other, we're further, we're closer, like, and how it is, it's really nice.
Thank you so much. As in film, I think audio and sound is like one of the most important things to make an experience like a high quality experience, right? If the sound is bad, it's like, yeah. But yeah, we use at Moki Spatial Audio. It's a company based in they're basically in the same building as I am right now. So
Sorry, what's the name?
at Moki's spatial
Atmosis.
audio solutions. So they provide SDKs for different game engines and also web-based. So have a look at them. They're amazing. Um, yeah. So and also people creators tend to add sounds to their spaces as well. So when you hop into a forest, you hear like a forest.
Sound and everything, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we will improve that as well because I think it's really nice. Or people, yeah, it's
What's about interface, Lisa? Like, you guys are going into like I know that we will touch that a little bit later, but like you were mentioning about making the creators tools like better, right? In terms of interface, like for example, I know something like the dynamic door, dynamic portal, right? That's like a certain interface that you can put in there. What about like any other interface, for example, for like splatting? What do you guys have like up until now?
I mean, I'd be happy to have a separate conversation with you about this to hear your thoughts on that because you're the expert there. Um, yeah, interface wise, it's interesting. In general, it's like a highly polished interface that you can customize to your own needs as much as possible. So that's the goal, right? We did a lot of UI redesign. The last release with the space edit itself. This next release will be like focused on the creator side, and yeah, keep it as clean as possible and as useful as possible, right? And the gates itself, yes, there are screens into other worlds, other spaces, other contents. It's definitely, and you will be able to adjust them as well to be able to like better fit in a specific, yeah, shape or form of the splat itself, right?
So there is like a library of the interface that people can bring in into their space now or maybe soon in the future.
We're getting there.
Okay. Okay. So you were mentioning about that. So first mobile and then desktop and then VR, right? So I was wondering about like how Arrival Space today like plug into the current XR workflow. For example, I start from if I'm a creator and I start from like a browser base, I put everything in there. Uh, how do I scale them into like a full spectrum of like immersive? Like how do I go into the headset and like experience them?
I mean, as it's web-based, it's like fully hardware independent, right? So it works in every headset on every immersive browser, right? Of course, it needs a little love here and there. But and VR is like basically right now more like a view mode, right? So you're not going to edit in VR at this point, but have like the most intriguing immersive experience to watch it and talk to other people, right? And yeah, you can actually like, I mean, I love transmedia, everything that like goes cross medium, right? So you can have your space implemented in your website and have it there, sitting persistent, live, always available. People hop in, you get a notification, you can talk to them directly. And workflow wise, what we see or hear a lot is like, for example, people who want to have an arrival space in order to be able to, for example, present their courses or workshop or whatever. And when they're flexible in terms of content, right? So normally they already have like this or that or this or that. For example, Unity wise, there's a lot of interaction. It's heavy. Unity and web based are not the best friends, as we know. But what I recommend people who have the flexibility to like build new content and want to use Arrival Space to do that, use Play Canvas, set up a scene, do all the interaction you want, right? And then add it to Arrival Space and you're web-based, good to go anywhere. Right?
That touched like one of the questions like from the audience. Let me see if I can bring them to the screen. Somebody says like, "Hey Lisa, like why do you use why Rival Space use a Play Canvas game engine for development instead of like Unity?"
Um, so I have to say first, every time Sammy is doing a new space, I'm like excited to go there and see what he does. She's an amazing creator from Peru. And Play Canvas just gives you like the speed for us. First, like the speed to set it up and to go straight forward. Of course, there's like a ton of additional code and a lot of other complex things attached to that. So the Play Canvas and Supersplat is like a really powerful WebXR engine.
That's why then you guys choose that. So I guess in this case, like for people, like for creators, like the no code platforms, like really like bring in users, right? Because like people who are not a coder, like they can use the platform and they can create different things. But if they are a coder, is there anything different that they could make like that would like they
Yeah.
have like a better things over there?
I mean, Sammy is again a good example for that. So
Sorry,
in the
who's-
and in the gates and in the settings, you find a JSON editor, and with that, you can do pretty much or a lot of things, right? Let's say so. There is the option to code yourself, add different styles, get the best out of Arrival Space, like say with this JSON editor. And I'm not a technical person, so I cannot do it, right? But also like with the splats now with Scaniverse and all these apps, I'm able to create a 3D asset, right, and upload it, and it's there. So for me, that's super exciting. Yeah.
Yes, you're a good example of a like a no code user, right?
I
I
am.
think I think I will be too. But for sure, people who can code, which means like people who has like the coding background, they can do so much more to get the best of like the
Yeah.
rival space. That's so much more. Any example like that you guys have up until now where um, the coder, for example, right? Like they have like used like the maximum one of like to take the best of like a rival space that that's notable for you guys.
Creator wise, you mean?
Yeah,
Or
yes. But
creator?
creators like coding base.
Code based, yeah. Um, I mean, code based is like a bit um, different because it really depends on what the person or the creator wants to do, right? normally, for example, Carla Knappe is also like an amazing creator. What she's doing is like not code base, but pulling Unity assets, making them into Gaussian splats, uploading it into Arrival, and then add stuff from there. So there are like multiple workflows around that, and the coding itself could, can help like create the best textures, the best styling itself, and by enhancing the AI features again, you can also like do a lot in terms of AI interaction with assets, stuff like that.
So the coding in this case is like the front end, like more than the back end, but it's more front end, like CSS in this case, like to help them style.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, it's really nice. Somebody actually asking to like, can you share the link for the Sound SDK? I really like it, so
Sure.
like, you can like put them there.
So
I think
I'm sending it to you guys there, okay? Because I'm not.
yes, and then I think Michael can help us to share it over there.
And I'm going to share a couple of links. For example, this nice Kyoto link here.
At the end, we can we walk through one of them or we cannot?
Let's say we can meet afterwards in
Yeah, we cannot do it like live, right?
on a tour, for example, definitely.
Sure. Okay. So at the moment, what you guys are building? Like, what's the next thing for Arrival Space? What do people need to know?
I mean, I think it's like basically enhancing the creator experience itself, make it more easy for people to share the profile and make it, in general, more valuable again to be in there and have this like enhanced human connection, no matter where you are in the world, right? We're going to build out more or focusing more on creator programs, the partner programs as well. So growing the community, growing. Sorry?
You said partner program.
Yeah, so we're thinking about like a creator and partner program in order to provide a better platform for people who want to collaborate in a broader scale, right? This is really
what is it about? Like for people who are interested, like explain it a little bit.
I'm happy to share more details when they are ready. But for example, on the one hand, for people who would like to recommend Arrival Space as a platform to their clients, and on the other hand, to have like partner creator programs so we can help with marketing and promotion in their spaces. We will also organize more world hubs in order to like present creators more and more. So what we are also exploring is like gate monetization, right? So this will also be like a big part. So you can monetize gates basically with any content you have. We have examples in there, for example, from Alex Hatz, a creator in the US with the Mount Everest experience, really nice, a 360 experience where you can watch the trailer, go in there, and then unlock the full experience, right?
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, so like everything that benefits the creator economy, and of course, like monetizing content is a huge thing. I mean, everybody.
Yeah.
I used to be a producer creator, right? So we know that it's really tricky distribution-wise sometimes, but it also works for any 2D content that already is there available, where you can just enhance it a lot more in a 3D space and then provide it to your clients as well.
That's really nice, actually. That's really, really nice. Before I comment on that one, somebody have a questions that really curious about the workflow about turning Unity assets into splats. Anything to say about this?
I can connect you with Carla if you want. I'm sure she's happy to tell you more.
Because they are so okay. Whoever you are, because I cannot see the name over here.
Just please put me on LinkedIn, and I'll put you guys in touch, right? So
So yes, so where were we? Yes, we were like in the features. That was really nice because I remember I met you. I think the first time I met you was in Aue, right? I
In
think it was
Portugal, right? It was in Lisbon,
yes, yes, in
AWE, right? Yeah, a couple years
place in
ago.
AWE. And then I was talking about like the two thing I had like that the speakers with lens at that time, and Pierre came and then you came along with it. And then like at that time I was talking like a little bit about like the previous company that I had was Upwork, which was like about like monetization for like creators in this case. So when you said about like the monetization for like different creators, like yes, it's super important. It's just there's a lot of creators that are like struggling to do it, and this idea about like being able to the monetize gates, go into it, like see a certain like trailers before the experience, and then they could experience the whole thing, whether like in different places, like in VR as well. Really nice.
Yeah, Sonia, let's have a chat afterwards.
Yeah,
No,
sure.
I really, we really, all of us, like, we really want to do something beneficial, right, for the industry. I'm in the EXA industry for 10 years now, right? So it's like
You
every
came from you came from architecture, if I'm not mistaken, or were
no,
you not? Yeah, right.
traditional,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's true. And I
Mm,
think that's why that in the beginning when I went to Arrival Space, I have my own Arrival Space. I've been using them for like portfolio. Like I haven't been using them for anything else. Like I've used them to my portfolio. Like I have a website, but like I do like I use like the common template, like not the creative one, the common template with different gates, and then I connect them to like different like case study, for example.
yeah.
I was wondering, like, if, for example, that sorry, if, for example, that I have my like my arrival space, right? Like, can I embed them into like my website?
Yeah,
Like, can I
yeah,
do that?
yeah.
Okay, and then
There's
they
like,
experience them like within the embed.
yeah. So there's like on the right side, there's a button, a share button, and you can choose on sharing on different social platforms or just a QR code. I do this a lot on presentations, so people can directly hop into afterwards. Um, and there's also like the embedding code from the website. You can implement it into the website directly to have the showcase there as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I'm gonna do that. Because I'm gonna try them because now they have a lot of new features. And you have the biggest seller. You have Pierre, like still selling this everywhere.
I mean, I'm happy to have like a session with you in your space and give you a
Oh
little
yeah, for sure.
tour.
You can tell me where I did bad in that space. Like this
I
is not
love
how it's
to
supposed to
see
be.
your galleries and the stuff you did. Like also in Mona, for example, you can directly go there, have a look.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So, for example, right? Like, I'm a bit curious about, like, for example, on a workshop level, if
Mhm.
anybody like educate from I'm seeing it from an educator perspective, right? Like for example, an educator wants to use a rival space to make like workshops in this case, could they do that?
Yes, definitely. So what we do is like, I mean, basically we're the platform, right? So it's the content creator side and the platform side. If there is like a collaboration or a project, I'm always like happy and interested to hear. For example, but normally also like people just do it on their own, right? So for example, Educators in VR, Mark Chefcock set up a couple of nice spaces and he's planning phones course and workshop, like teaching people how to do splats with their phones, which is lovely and interesting. And they met for a couple of weeks. Every Sunday, people get the information from the trainer itself. They go out, scan things, set it up in their own space. All the people hop in, they get feedback. So it's like a really nice setup in order to, yeah, have a training, have a mentoring.
Then
Um,
can they present things there, Lisa? Like they can I know they can embed content right inside there. Ah yeah, of course. can I say?
Sure. It's like it's a PDF or a PowerPoint or like a Google call or whatever. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. But in terms of like teaching people how to do splats and which apps to use and how to improve the workflow, and then you can like really showcase it to other people in the space, the splat you made after having the workshop, and then get better and better. I think it was a really, really interesting.
Do you guys do this like inside the Discord? Like every now and then, do you guys have like some kind of a workshop how to use a rival space in general, like to from Splat to from the assets? Like, do you guys have this?
So this specific workshop was from educators in VR and Mark Chapcock itself, right? We do. We're going to do more how-to videos, right? So it's definitely on the list. We have a codex. We have a how-to space. So when you go into the how-to space, you basically learn the basic functionality of Arrival Space. And yeah, definitely going to do more world hubs on the one hand showcasing creators, what creators are doing, and on the other hand to learn more about the tools. Yes.
Okay, super great. I was thinking that for if you're up to it, like for the last 10 minutes that we have, right? What do you think if we jump into like one of the space? You can pick any space. We jump into it. We can post the link like in the chat. Whoever wants to join us can join us.
Awesome.
What do you think?
Sure. So let's go to the Kyoto space. Michael already posted. I have to pull up my LinkedIn here. I just don't want to get the sound thing going. And at Moki, I hope the link is in there right now. Otherwise, I'm going to edit later.
We're improvising it a little bit, like because I'm super curious about the space, and I think a lot of people are.
Awesome.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is that
Paste the live.arrival.space link into there, into your browser.
I'm gonna pull them up here. And let's try to mute myself. Oh,
Hello, hello, Sonia.
yes, I can hear you. I'm pretty curious if I can share.
So let's mute each other in our private space.
Yes, exactly.
Meanwhile, we are here, but I see a lot of people, a couple of people coming.
Oh, this is Japan, right? It's Kyoto,
Yes,
right?
that's Kyoto. We can have a walk downstairs, and otherwise, here, for example, is like a gate to another splat. But let's have a walk.
Okay. I
A
will
lot
follow
of.
you.
I mean, I would love to show it to you guys right now, but the screen share seems to be like a bit
But
tricky.
but you guys can join us like into the walk. It's so cool. Wow, it's really nice.
And I think it's also like really interesting for like crafts, like people who do like any type of craft that is already spatial itself, right?
What do you mean?
For example, like little models or anything creative, right? Okay, there's a little walk here.
Oh no.
And to take a picture with you guys.
So I'm seeing this thing enter VR mode. So if I click on this right now, it will pull up like it will open my browser in my headset.
Cannot, yeah, exactly. And when you click on share, I think sharing is.
So we have like, we have share, we have, this is really nice.
And you're now in guest mode, right? So when you log in,
I suppose I am.
you already have more functionalities available right away. But we can also like go upstairs again real quick and hop into the next flat, and you see
Sure.
like the transition
Is,
from.
is that the dynamic gates, the one that's there?
So when you follow me upstairs, there's like a difference between navigation gates, right, and dynamic gates. But we can also hop into Lilea Lab itself. So, for example, like on the right side is always your home, on the left side is back, and in the middle is like this featured gate section where we feature open spaces that are set to open, explorable for the public. And let's hop over to Lilia Lab
Really alive. Okay.
because it's like amazing
Oh,
content.
it loads pretty fast, yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. I like this.
Let's see. Let's go there if you want to join me.
Yes, I am joining you. I'm walking like
Walk with me. Okay. Yeah, so I'm always happy to take you on a tour. Um, yeah, and I'll definitely share some news when we have events where people can like really interact and do a world hop together. We're doing this a lot, basically for like specific communities or partners, or but yeah, there will be more public events coming up soon as well.
if the next time you guys have this, like, feel free to put them like in the chat of this conversation, and then whoever is like getting this, like who's watching this, like after, I think could see this.
Awesome. Perfect.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Like it has been like really nice conversation. Even I'm walking away with ideas how to plug rival space into my own workspace.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for sharing your time, like your perspective, giving us a glimpse like what your team are doing in the rival space. I really wish the best for the rival space to continue growing, and I wait to hear about like the next features that you guys are having.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a great pleasure, and thanks Extra Crowd and Exa for Europe for all this. And let's stay in touch and chat very soon. Thank you so much.
Before we wrap up, I would like to give a thank you for people who make this session happen, and obviously, huge thank you to Michael Van Grover from Except for Europe, our producer behind the scene. Thank you so much, Michael. If
Thank
you enjoyed this kind, sorry, yes, of course. If you enjoyed this kind of conversation around XR and immersive design, please feel free to connect on LinkedIn with me. I share on immersive design, special workflow, XR product thinking, XR crowd for more live talks, except for Europe for updates like what's happening around like XR industry in Europe, and of course Arrival Space. Go there, go check them out, say hello, host something on your own, and join their Discord. They do a lot of these things. This episode will be available in YouTube and LinkedIn Live shortly. So if you rewatch this and share it, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much, everyone, and see you in the next one. Take care.
you. Bye bye.
Thanks, Lisa.